the right woman will respect your honesty. Because think about it, guys, it's quite dishonest to... I think it's quite common through the self-improvement and the red pill community and shit like that among the manosphere. And they'll say things like, you shouldn't be too emotional around a woman, you shouldn't let your guard down, you shouldn't be too vulnerable. I don't think they really stress enough how important it is to be able to let your guard down as a man. So stick around because I need that watch time. You're not alone in thinking that when you let your guard down, when you talk about how you're feeling, when you express your feelings and you acknowledge them, that if you do that in front of a woman, it's actually quite weak. But I don't think it is, and here's why. I actually think it's quite insecure for a man to deny his feelings, to refuse to acknowledge how he's feeling because he's scared how he might come across to other people, especially women. And I think women are very emotionally intelligent creatures, and I think they can pick up on that. I think women know when you're not confident in yourself. And the fact that you're able to acknowledge your feelings, that takes balls to do, especially as a man. Because what you're doing is, you're letting your guard down. And if you're able to let your guard down, it shows a lack of fear. It shows that you don't care if someone's gonna take the piss out of you, because if that bothers you, then that shows that they've got power over you. If you don't care what people think, how much power do you have over yourself, and how little of an effect does that person have on you? Now maybe you've been in a relationship before and you've talked about your feelings. You might have told her how you feel about her, or you might have told her that, oh, I'm having a rough day today or something like that. And she might have seen that as weakness, which I don't know, maybe some women do. But I think that the right woman is going to respect you regardless. If she's the right woman for you, she truly loves you, she truly cares about you, she'll show some understanding, and she won't treat you like you're weak. She won't treat you like you've lost your manhood in a sense. And I think in fact the right woman will respect your honesty, because think about it, guys, it's quite dishonest to not talk about how you feel because you're being disingenuous and it's inauthentic, and I don't think women like that. I think they find it to be quite a turn off in a way. Understand, guys, that authenticity is attractive to women because it shows you're a man of your word, it shows you can be honest. And I want to stress this, being vulnerable doesn't mean you can't be emotionally strong. There is a big difference between being vulnerable from a position of insecurity and being vulnerable from a position of strength and confidence. You see, when you're vulnerable from a position of insecurity, that's when you start letting your emotions control your actions. That's when you start screaming, or you might start crying, or you might start getting really angry or whatever. When those emotions control your behaviour and you start behaving really erratic, really out of control, there is a difference between that and simply being able to talk about how you're feeling, be able to acknowledge your own emotions. There is a huge difference between the two things. One is where you're controlled by your emotions, and the other is where you're in control of your emotions. Those are two different things. And I don't think women have a problem with you being able to acknowledge how you feel, because if you don't acknowledge how you feel, think about what that's going to do to your mental health. Letting all those negative emotions build up inside, bottling it all up. I'm not saying that you've got to break down and cry in front of a woman. In fact, don't do that. But be able to acknowledge how you feel. And finally, I'm going to end the video by saying few men are born brave. There are a lot of men who are afraid to talk about how they feel because, let's face it, they're scared of what other people think about them. They're scared of looking weak. But if you can talk about how you feel, just think about how strong of a man that makes you look, especially to women. So have a think about that, guys. So guys, what do you think about this? Do you think men should be vulnerable around women? Do you think we should not be vulnerable around women? Do you think it's good to develop an emotional connection, or do you think it's bad? Do you think it makes us less attractive? Let me know your thoughts below. That's all I'm going to say about that.